Hello, my friends. Aimee Esther here, and today's video, I'm sharing with you my 1 year update of not having a smartphone and where am I at now. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I make videos about life with chronic illness here on YouTube, so subscribe if you're interested in living an awesome life while living chronically ill. And physical symptoms, yes, we have chronic illnesses that cause physical symptoms. We also have mental illness as well. And because of that, I was struggling with my mental health about a year ago. Well, it's a little over a year ago now. I'm filming this a little late, but a little over a year ago, I was having some mental illness struggles. I was having a lot of anxiety, a lot. So I found that certain things were triggering me, and one of those was my smartphone and social media and all of that. I tried deleting the social media apps. I tried making myself fast from my phone, but it just wasn't working. And I just felt this attachment to my phone. I felt addicted to my phone. I felt like I couldn't get away from it, even though it caused me so much anxiety and stress every time I went to it. And I decided I'm just going to get rid of it. So I really decided this after listening to Colin Karchner. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, you guys. So sad. And Colin Karchner promoted less screen time for kids and especially social media and smartphone use in kids and teenagers and in adults and in parents. And so he just kind of inspired me. He had a podcast. It's amazing. Of course, there's not any new episodes today. Oh, bless his poor family. All of his old podcasts are amazing and you should go listen to them. They're so inspiring. But he inspired me to not only just take a social media fast or just take a step away, but to literally just throw it out the window. So my phone was dying. I had a smartphone. I had a Galaxy something or other, Samsung. I don't know what it was, but it was dying anyway. It was like the charge would hold for like 5 minutes and then I had to recharge it. So I needed a new phone anyway. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna have to buy one anyway. What if I just try something for a second? So with Colin Karchner's inspiration, this is something he did for his children, is he got a flip phone. And so I purchased a flip phone, which I would pull it out. It's somewhere in my kids' toys right now. But I purchased a flip phone, and it was really soon after I had my son. So he was a newborn, and I just felt like my phone was disconnecting me from my son. And so I was like, you know what? We're done. So I got a flip phone and I used it for about 2 or 3 months, I think, probably 2 months. And there were things that I absolutely loved about it. What I loved about it was just making my life so much better. And what I hated about it was super annoying. So the things that bugged me the most were that it didn't have a camera. Well, it did, but it was like, not a good camera because the technology is very, very old on those flip phones because nobody makes them anymore because nobody buys them but me. And then the only other thing that I really missed from my smartphone was GPS. So Colin Karchner talked about this brand a lot. It's called Gabb Wireless and it is made for teenagers. And now they have an even younger version, but it's basically a phone that looks like a smartphone, but it doesn't act like it can't go on the internet. So you can take pictures, you can send pictures depending on the plan. You can do a plan where it doesn't send pictures, depending on how strict you want to be with your children. And because, again, it was made for teens and kids. But it can text, call, looks like a smartphone, has calendar app and all of that stuff, but not any internet access. And they just added GPS. And in my head, I'm thinking GPS meant that I could use GPS to find my way, but I didn't really think it through. This was made for children, so the GPS is mom has an app on her smartphone that GPSes to the phone so you can always find your child, not the child can use GPS, if that makes sense. So I was a little misled there, but that was totally my fault because I didn't actually read into it. I just wanted a new option. So at least it's had my camera. So I switched to that after a couple months of the flip phone and I ended up keeping that for the next, 10 months. So it ended up being about a year that I had not had a smartphone. But I was home a lot, so like it didn't really seem to matter. Like the GPS didn't seem to matter that much. and like looking stuff up didn't seem to matter that much because I was home like all the time. So first, let me tell you where I'm at now, and then I want to talk about some of the things that I learned. So now, after it's been a little while, but after about a year of not having a smartphone, I made the decision to switch back to a smartphone. Because of the GPS, I started going places more and I got lost way too many times that I realized I really need some GPS here. And another reason was just because of COVID, everything in the world has gone virtual. And so, like, I go to the doctor's office, you check in on your phone. If you go to an event, it's virtual tickets. And if you go out to eat, they don't have physical menus, you have to use your phone. And now, most places did have an option. Like, I think they have to. They had some sort of option for you, but it was always just a little bit inconvenient. So, I decided after just one, giving myself a year to be away from it, that I was ready to take on the benefits and leave the parts that I didn't like about it behind and keep what I'd learned. I switched back to a smartphone. I got, I don't know, for Google Pixel 4G something, 4A, I think. I don't know. It's probably like a mid-tier phone. And I gotta say, I really like having it back, to be honest. I feel like there were a lot of things that I did end up missing out on, but I learned so much from that year. So I will say that I would recommend this to anyone who is feeling the way that I was feeling, anxiety and stress and just feeling this addiction to your phone. It is a great thing to do, even if it's just for like a month or two. But for me, I feel like I really needed that year to just get totally away from it. So now I have such a better relationship. And I actually did wait to film this video until it had been a few months of having my smartphone back, because I wanted to make sure like I didn't just go back to the way I was before and change my mind and go back to the dumb phone. But I feel like that year taught me so much. So although I have a smartphone again, I will say that I would recommend it to anyone who needs a break from their smartphone. The first thing I learned is life is so much better in the moment. It's so much better to just live in the moment and not be living in other people's lives and other things on the internet. I just feel so much better when I'm here with myself and whoever I'm with at that time. The other thing I learned is there are a lot of good things from smartphones and that I can live in balance. Like, I think my brain wants to go this all or nothing. Like, either I'm addicted to my smartphone or I don't have one. And I've learned that I can balance that and I can have the benefits of it without overdoing it. And that's another thing I've learned is that I've learned my limits. I've learned when I've hit that point of too much time on my phone. I know what it feels like now, instead of like, I literally always felt that way before because I just like went too far and then I couldn't come back, it felt like. But now, like, I feel like I know the limits of myself. I see it in myself. I know the way I feel when I've spent too much time and I'm able to take a step back. The other thing I learned is that I can be bored and not have to pick up my phone. Like, I almost never pick up my phone outside of the house anymore. Like, if I wouldn't say never, because if someone texts me or someone calls me or like I need to log into my doctor's appointment, yes, I use it for those things, but I don't use it for boredom anymore. So I almost never pull it out for boredom. Like, if we're at a family party or a friend's house, or if I'm at the doctor's office in the waiting room or anything like that, I don't need to take my phone out. I can just be bored, or I can just find other things to do or think about. And honestly, I mean, maybe bored's not the right answer. I used to think that I'd be bored, but I just sit in peace and silent, and it's so wonderful. Like, I love sitting in the doctor's office in the waiting room because I'm by myself. Usually I don't have my kids, and I just get a minute to myself, and I don't have to be on my phone and looking at other people's lives. I'm just there by myself in peace. Going along with using my phone in a healthy way, I feel like I now have learned how to use social media in a healthy way where I can share things without feeling this pressure like I have to share things. Like, I think on my, like, the account that I use linked to kind of my YouTube, which is like, I call it my health blog, my health account, my health Instagram account. That one, I used to feel this pressure like I had to post a certain amount or I had to take certain quality of pictures. And now I'm like, you know what? I just post because I want to share something or because somebody asked me a question. And then I don't feel like I have to check it every day or I have to like get on Instagram every single day and look at what other people are doing. Like I could get on once a week and I'll be totally fine. And that brings me to another thing I learned is that I did not miss anything on social media. I missed out on nothing. Like I really didn't. Like yes, sometimes someone would announce they're pregnant and I'd find out like a week later, but honestly, the amount of things that I missed was so tiny compared to what my brain tells me if I don't get on, I'm going to miss. Or if I, like, I had a friend delete her social media and she's like, I haven't missed it at all. Like, I haven't missed out on anything because I'm seeing the people that I care about and I'm talking to them. So I'm not missing anything. And that's something I've learned is like, I do have people that live far away from me that I don't get to see or talk to very often that I love and I want to share pictures with them and I want to see their pictures and stuff. And so I do want to keep mine, but I feel like I've found such a healthier balance within now. And the last thing I'd say I learned is that I prefer face-to-face more than anything else. And if I can't see someone, yes, like video call is an amazing tool that we have to use. And I love it, but always, always I would prefer to see someone face-to-face. And I am like an introverted person. Like I have a lot of social anxiety. I don't think I've talked about that much here on my channel, but it is like if I'm in a group of more than 3 people, I feel so anxious. I get super awkward. I shut down. I don't want to talk to anyone. I get really uncomfortable. I feel less uncomfortable now. Like I feel like it's helped my social anxiety. It's like helped me get out and do those things more. Like I would have never joined a book club. I would have never hung out with certain friends if I had not got rid of my dumb phone and now learned that face-to-face is so much better. Even if it causes me some anxiety, it's like way better anxiety than the anxiety I get from social media. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. But point is, I would recommend this to anyone who needs time away. Maybe ditching your smartphone is not for you, but maybe you do a fast from it for a few days, or maybe you just turn it on airplane mode for a few days, or you just delete all your social media apps or something like that. Taking a break helps so much. At least it helped for me. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yes, I am back online. I mean, I've been still posting YouTube videos, but I don't know, feels different to me than social media. I am occasionally posting on Instagram. You can follow me there if you want, but I won't feel bad if you don't. Okay, see ya.